Morning folks, how you doing? Something a wee bit different for you today. It's been a wee while since I checked in. Mo and I are not at home, as you can probably guess. We're on the island of Madeira. So if you're only interested in the channel for views of Scotland, you might want to turn off at this point. But
turn off.
But if you want to stick with us, we're going hiking today. We're going to do a Madeiran Munro. We're heading up to Pico Alto, which is 1129 meters. So we've been on the trail for a few hours already. It's a fairly brutal start. We managed to get a taxi up a little bit.
Not all the way. Yeah. Could have gone further. I'm regretting it.
So we managed to get a taxi up a little bit, but we've been climbing hard since then. And I haven't switched the camera on because we're in secondary vegetation. I'm very interested in native vegetation and the native plants of Madeira, although I don't know very much about them. But there are some Madeiran endemics that we're searching out. So we're going to the high ground. We're in acacia and eucalyptus forest just now, which both species, both genera, are introduced, so they're not native of the island. But when we get a bit higher, we might get into more interesting vegetation. I've got the camera with me on a very lightweight tripod. The reason I keep looking down is I'm worried the tripod's going to blow over in the wind. I've got the expensive camera sitting on top, so I'll turn the camera on here and there. I'll give you a glimpse, a view of what we've been doing. The last few days we've been hiking the coast, and I didn't turn the camera on at all, although I did take one or two photographs, but I didn't do any filming. The mountains were off limits because of bad weather, so
don't go there.
Mo says don't go there. I have a real thing about freedoms being curtailed and being treated like a wee boy when they tell you that it's for your own good that you don't go to the hills. Anyhow, these lower hills are open today and the bigger hills might be open tomorrow, so there's not a huge difference between what I'm calling the lower hills, about 1100 meters today, second one about 14. And then the big hills that we're hoping to do tomorrow are a little bit north of 1800 meters, so higher than the Munros, but this far south the conditions shouldn't be too challenging. So we're going to hike on. We're going to switch the camera on here and there and give you a glimpse. We might get 3 short videos because we've got 3 mountain days. We've got today, tomorrow and the following day. So whether I stitch it all together into one video for you or not, or maybe just do 3 really short glimpses. We're
heading into the ecological park today.
Yeah.
That's the goal, not the higher mountain.
Yes. So I'm going to search out a few plants. Enough blethering, let's hike on. We're making progress, folks. Do you want to talk about the map situation?
We went to the bookshop, local bookshop, and tried to find maps. I think we're spoiled by always having Ordnance Survey maps, and there's no map that we can see that's really detailed enough. So I found this app called All Trails, and it's actually pretty decent, so that's what we're using.
We went to a few tour companies to try and get some information, and really what we were looking for was transfers. We wanted dropped off at one side of the hills and then picked up at the other side, and pretty much all the tour companies said, oh, it's too dangerous, you can't do this, you can't do that, and
you need a guide.
And you need a guide, and of course we can guide you. And so the problem is that, you know, we can use a taxi or some form of public transport, but the taxi drivers don't know the start point of the trails, and the start point of the trails are not that easy to find. You need a little bit of local knowledge. So we had to do a bit of scouting about this morning. That's why we got dropped off in the taxi lower down, and then we hiked up through the village, zigzagging here, there and everywhere, until eventually we found a wee track marker. And I think the chances of getting lost, even
Very small.
without a map at all, are very slim. So I'm not suggesting that it's best practice going into unknown hills without any maps. But the trail seems to be quite good,
Yeah.
and we're on an out and back hike today because we couldn't get anybody to pick us up at the other side. So as long as we look over our shoulder every now and again, we'll get an idea of what the view looks like in this direction.
Yeah, I think the fact that we don't speak Portuguese is also not helping.
But you can see there's habitation up here.
Yeah, I think we probably could, take a taxi further, much further, but we just fancy the hike anyway.
Yeah, well, we're here for hiking, we're not here for driving around.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Okay.
enough politics about
No,
what you can and can't do.
The app, the point is the app seems to be working well,
Yeah, so
as long as you have signal.
that's a big break in tradition for me, folks, to
No map or compass.
no map and compass.
How unsettled do you feel now?
Not at all. I did a lot of my Himalayan hiking without map and compass. There
That's
were
right,
no
yeah.
maps, so
Exactly.
I just had a fair idea of where I was.
Yeah. Not every country in the world is well mapped.
Exactly.
All right.
Hike on.
Okay, come down.
I don't know if I can get down more.
Okay, well, you can just camp up there then.
I'm filming these maritime pines, Mo. There's a stump here at the side of the track. You can see the fire damage on it. So these are serotinous pines, and you can see the fire damage around the bases of all the trees. So this is a fire ecology in this area. And these big cones that we saw earlier, I should have picked one up for the folks, that are tight shut with nature's super glue. They need the heat of a fire to open the cones and let the seeds out, and then because there's been a fire, the potash levels in the soil are high, and that stimulates the seed to germinate, producing the next generation of trees. Quite interesting. So this is the first stand of native trees that we've seen in amongst all these alien invasives. I found one of the echiums, Mo. Another Madeiran endemic. That's a good sized shrub. And stand in front of the camera, Mo, for scale. Show the folks how big it is. So we found another one of the Madeiran endemics. This is a heather, not the Scots Calluna, but a Erica, which I suppose strictly speaking we should call it a heath rather than a heather. So these are tree heaths. And you can see how big that is. So we do a fair bit of heather bashing in Scotland, Mo, when we're hiking off track.
Not this size.
But not that size. That would be quite difficult to hike through that. We stand in the...
Normally the heather is like, but that size.
Yeah. Do that again. There you go. And that's the trail dead ahead.
Drizzled a bit.
That waterfall sounds quite good. Can you see it from there?
No.
I can see the high ground. It's quite a long way away.
Come here. Which way do you want to go? We've got a choice.
Oh.
No. 50 meters. Monty is 4.1k. Where is what we stayed?
Started. So that's route 3.1. And we have Levada to, there we are, 2.1 kilometers PR4.
Let me consult my app. So we started here this morning at Monty, and then we're here now at this bit.
Yeah.
And the elevation is, we started at 550 and now we're at 1130 in about 2 hours.
Yeah. So we've crossed that peak, we're going to go up, and it seems like it's not actually easy to get across to the next peak without dropping down. So I think what we'll probably do...
This is the Alto one we just did.
Yeah. So I think we'll continue up this Levada, seeking out some high ground, and we'll just see where the route takes us, because tomorrow we've got to get up at around 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes.
We're doing the proper traverse tomorrow, whereas we're trying to...
The bigger hills.
Yeah, we're trying to link hikes together that are not easily linked today, so we're probably better just... now we're at the end of the trail basically, but I think what we should do is we'll continue on for another couple of hours, and then so from now we've got about 5 hours of daylight. Just a little bit under 5 hours of daylight. We've got to stop and have some lunch somewhere, so I think we'll hike on.
Look, that one. Lots of cones.
I did a wee bit of filming earlier on, folks, showing you the pines that are part of this fire ecology landscape. The maritime pines, I called them, and I lamented the fact that I didn't pick up a pine cone. So I've got one here. Well, I've got one that Mo picked up. Let me show you it. Can you see if that camera is in focus for me, Mo?
Mm-hmm.
So these cones are sealed tight shut with resin. You can actually see a little bit of resin just escaping out there. And when fire goes through, it heats the resin and melts it, opens the cone up and allows the dispersal of the seeds. Beautiful.
Very strange texture.
Very heavy. One of these.
Like nuts, like.
Yeah. Well, in
pine nuts.
Yeah, in Yunnan. Go back so the folks can see us. In Yunnan, the almond pine, Pinus armandii, the 5-needle pine with the really big nuts, they're really quite delicious if they're cooked properly.
Straight up. It's your style of hill walking. Basically, straight up.
It's quite hard going. But
we didn't cover much distance, but we have gained a lot of elevation.
Our other hill is completely out of sight now, and a long way beneath us. So, what was it? 1219? 1129. We are several, well, maybe 200 or 300 meters above that now.
We should be about 130, 1300 or 1350.
Yeah, that seems about right. Well, let's hike on. We're getting reasonably close to a turnaround time now.
I'm looking for the most perfect cone. So far as this one, until I find a better one.
Okay.
That's a great viewpoint, yeah?
We're a good long way up, folks.
We're going there.
I think what we're going to do, we've had a wee chat about it off camera.
Yes, maybe you're blocking it. We're going there.
We'll zoom it in a minute. There's a little point there. We're going to try and contour around this hillside. We're on a bit of a track here. We're not on the recognised route that we were on this morning, but there is there's a decent track here, and there are some markers here and there. Although we haven't been following them religiously, we've been trying to find our own way. We're going to try and get across to there, and actually our hotel is underneath that, but it's in old money it's about 4,500 feet below where we're going to be.
It's right by the sea, so
it's yeah, down at sea level, so it's about 1,400 meters
below us.
And so what we're going to have to do is try and find a way across there. There's Levada, there's a stream in there, so we have to find a way round. Don't want to go down through this dense vegetation. We'll see if we can get round. We'll get up onto that point and we'll call it a day, and then we have to find a way back down. You got the resin?
Sticky. Yeah, we'll turn back.
So
2:15 maybe.
yes, so we've got 4 hours.
We've got about half an hour to go.
Yeah, it's properly dark at 6 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now, and it's taken us pretty much all morning to get this far, but we've got gravity on our sides in a wee while, so let's hike on, see if we can get round there, and then we'll check in with you in a wee while, folks. Are you building a cairn with pine cones?
That's a good view.
Yeah.
The hotel's there.
So that's looking down to Funchal, which it does.
The harbour.
Yeah, the harbour. It does not look very far away. And that, see the cliff away around there, Mo? Way in the distance there. That's where we hiked yesterday. So we actually covered a considerable distance yesterday. But all of it on these eco walks and gardens and waterfront terraces.
Are you comfy up there?
It's a bit breezy, and that pair of eagles that we saw flying around, they obviously sit here from time to time. And there's a pile of eagle poop beside me.
Definitely a good viewpoint.
What
That's a nice flower.
What have you got there, Mo? Let me go to the one behind you. There's more flowers on it. You know what that is?
Scotch broom.
It is indeed. We're on the island of Madeira, and that's...
And if you want to ask me about Latin name,
almost right. It's Cytisus scorpius, or commonly known as Scotch broom, and this is called French broom. Are you getting confused with
yeah,
it?
so every country has a broom then.
Yeah, it seems so. Try to focus in on it. The camera doesn't like the yellows, especially when I'm in.
They're much smaller.
Yeah. So it's a genista. So the other one was Cytisus. This is a different genus altogether, genista, and I think it's Montspecialina. Well, folks, we're back in the ecological reserve. We came down off the ridge in behind you there and wound our way down into the Levada, the drainage, the river basin, and now we've got to hike through the reserve for a few hundred metres just, and then we leave it behind and find our way onto the ridge and across the peak that we climbed this morning. So I'm going to wind the video up here for you. I introduced a little bit of botanical interest on this wee movie. I hope you don't mind that. I'm aware that we were referring to the pine now and again, and we never gave the name of it, so any of you that are interested in scientific names, which I'm guessing there won't be that many of you, but it's Pinus pinaster is the scientific name. So thanks for tuning in, folks. I hope this was a little bit of interest for you, something very, very different, I understand that, but if you've tuned in to the end, thanks for that, I appreciate it. We'll get back to you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Sunrise on Madeira.
It's quite cold up here. Yep. on camera.
It's cold, this chain. It's slippery, Dave. Very careful.
Okay.
Put your camera away.
Okay, let's go and catch up with Mo.
Be careful, it's really slippy. A few stairs. Especially the ones that tilt down.
Okay, don't worry. Are you ready for some mountaineering by
climbing stairs?
it's a ladder, not stairs, I think. A lot of climbing to do, Mo. Well folks, we've traversed the summit. I'm going to lose a layer here, it's quite warm now. So we started, can you spin round, Bo, and point away down here. We started away across there in the clouds this morning, and then we came up and you can see the golf ball on the top, the radar station, and we traversed over, under and around all that jagged stuff there, and then we cross down into here and there,
Okay.
and then up onto the actual summit.
Top is there.
But because we're traversing from south to north, if you turn round, Mo, you'll see that our way out is across here on a really good path, so it's actually got very busy just now. So the summit was surprisingly busy. The terrain that we covered on our traverse was reasonably challenging in places, although it was on a proper mountain path the whole way. It was sufficiently narrow, and there were one or two other people around because the mountain has been closed for several days, so everybody that's here on holiday wants to try and get onto the mountain while it's open. So I wasn't able to put the tripod up. The path was barely half a metre wide in places, so I did a little bit of handheld footage for you, and I'm pretty much going to wind the video up here. We've got to go up and over and then down the other side. There's another car park down there. It's about 2.5 kilometres away, something like that.
Yep. And a coffee shop.
And there's a coffee shop at that car park. So we have completed our traverse of the highest point of Madeira, starting in the south and heading north. So hope you enjoyed this one, folks. So I'm going to strip off a layer. I'm going to enjoy an easy walk up over this little hill, down the other side, and then we can have a nice cup of coffee while we're waiting on our taxi coming to collect us. So I'll take the camera so you can say bye-bye, Mo. Suddenly got very windy.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Bye for now. Morning, folks. We're still on the island of Madeira. We're surrounded by heather forest. So heather is a very familiar plant for those of us that hike in Scotland. There's two types. There is the Scots heather, or the ling, which is in the genus Calluna. Am I getting too scientific here, Mo?
Yes.
Anyway, these are not Callunas. They're really heaths in the genus Erica. So we have this beautiful heather forest, or heath forest. We're heading down. We were up at the crack of dawn, so this is quite a tough holiday, isn't it, Mo?
Mm-hmm.
So we're up at the crack of dawn, and we jumped in the taxi. We got dropped off a few kilometres away because this road is a private road, so the taxi's not allowed to come here. He dropped us off away at the top of the hill there, so we've been hiking for a good long time, but I didn't put the camera on because basically it was dark. But we've got daylight coming in now. We're heading down to the bottom of this valley here, this glen, if it was in Scotland, to a Levada, and then we're going to follow a water course to an area that's known as 25 fontaines, or 25 waterfalls. So the challenge is to find all 25. There's been a bit of wet weather, so I think we might find most of them, but I don't think we'll find all of them. So we've got quite a long day ahead of us, so we're going to hike on, and I'll show you a glimpse of Mo. She's holding the camera for me. I don't have the tripod with me today, so I'll turn the camera in a wee while and you'll get a glimpse of Mo. Let's hike on. Are you looking forward to getting on the trail, Mo? Get off this road.
Yes. Downhill is a bit hard.
Yeah, we've got what, about a couple of kilometres of this.
Yep.
But we're on an out and back hike today, so we've got to hike all the way back up here. Whereas yesterday it was a complete traverse, and actually today's hike is going to be a little bit challenging for navigation because we have to find two different trails.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think
Well
they're
signed.
reasonably well signed. Sun's coming up, Mo.
You see the colour changing.
Yeah. Okay, there's a little bit more road hiking to do. Let's hike on.
Getting warmer.
Yeah, this is a good hiking trail. There are quite a lot of stairs.
Not good for my legs.
You feeling your muscles a little bit after yesterday's hike and the day before?
I think the day before, the first day did the most damage.
That was 24 kilometres.
Yesterday was about 13.
Yeah, 13, 14 yesterday.
But yesterday was like this.
Yeah, a lot of elevation gain and loss yesterday, a lot of up and down.
Yep. And today will be much gentler, but
Yeah.
I was told it would be much gentler, but if you look back, on the way back, it was not going to be.
Yes, we have a lot of climbing to do to get back up.
Look
To-
ahead, there's still more to come.
Yeah, well, we're going up there, so we've got quite a lot of...
We're not going up there, we're going down.
but after we go down, we follow
Oh
the
yeah, we'll
water
have to go
course.
back up,
We'll
yeah.
have to go back up.
Yep.
Oops, perhaps I should have kept quiet there.
Sheer drop. You see.
A split waterfall. One.
Yeah. Look at, oh, covered. Completely, yeah.
This gorge is absolutely
Gorge.
gorgeous.
Gorgeous gorge.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Quite steep down there.
Yep. You don't want to go over. Look, in my neck. Down my neck. So how was the hike, Dave?
Well, it was quite easy and very, very entertaining, and that waterfall was just spectacular. The reason that we set off so early, folks, for a relatively easy hike is that there are two hikes, and we're going to try and do both of them today, but they're also amongst the most popular hiking trails on the island of Madeira, and I think in about an hour's time they're going to get super busy. So what Mo and I are going to try to do is to find a little track that is a little bit off the beaten track, which will provide us with a loop, so the people that are on the track that we were on this morning, is this making any sense, will be coming in this direction, and we would meet them in all these narrow places with a big drop-offs. If we go up into the heathland, into the woodland, we can perhaps bypass this. There's a little bird here. Hello. I don't have anything for you.
You don't have anything healthy.
You shouldn't feed these birds.
What a beautiful bird.
These wagtails suffer from a type of diabetes, and if you feed them anything with sugar in them, they'll suffer badly or die. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so we're going to try and get back almost to our start point, and then we're going to set off on hike number 2 for today. Don't have anything that way.
Can you see the hiking trail over there, Mo?
We're on the stairs back up.
There it is. Another waterfall, Mo.
You have to look closely. There are birds living just on the cliff next to the waterfall.
Ah.
They fly in and out.
Shout out to Gary from New York. Gary, you would love this.
Hi, Gary.
Water everywhere. You see that double falls up in that
You know?
area where,
It's just one.
yeah, so I'm guessing there's a beautiful pool up there.
Yeah.
Not easy
Would
to
it
get
be
to there.
that one coming from that side then?
Yeah,
It could be.
yeah, it could be another one. And then this beautiful gorge down here.
Gorge.
Gorgeous.
People just say gorge these days, you know.
Oh, do they? I
Ah.
wondered what you were going on about. So down with the kids, it's just called gorge now, is it?
Yeah. Oh, this lady is totally gorged.
Yeah, right, okay. You had me lost. Okay, we're going to hike round underneath the waterfall, see if we can spot the birds.
Well folks, we've more or less completed our hiking for today. We've got about 5k to go, but it's on the wider track, so I'm going to wind the video up here. I'm actually going to wind up the wee mini series, our expedition to Madeira. So I hope you enjoyed this, something a little bit different for you, but we'll get back to business as usual and start filming the outdoors in Scotland again. So thanks for tuning in folks. I hope you enjoyed these 3 mini adventures that we filmed over the last few days. So your viewing is very much appreciated as always, and look forward to getting back to you soon in Scotland. So bye for now. Mo says bye.